when they could.
Good morning, everybody. It's Crazy Cat Lady Diamond Painting. I've
Look into the mirror.
been wanting to video, but I've been so busy, and right now today's gonna be crazy because I don't do any editing. I'm not gonna go through all that. I don't have the time. I have a job, and this isn't my source of income or anything, so whatever. I'm staying up because it's going to be like 100 degrees out today, and I'm watering all of my plants so that they don't die. So I'm going to be running out to move my hose from one plant to another in the front and one plant to another in the back. So probably have some little 5-minute breaks every here and there. It's actually almost time for me to switch it, but whatever. Let's see.
And I'm walking down the street from every
Been
single.
oh, yeah. Look at that. All I have left is
everyone
that.
looking at
Look at that. Yay. Getting there.
But
I think it's
I really
hope I got enough of these.
stupid. Now, when do you look at trees?
Well, it looks like it
When do you
only
when do you
needs
notice the
them in
natural
this
world?
one
When do
last
you
little.
think
There's some
I
there
want to do
too.
my best to protect
Not a
the
lot,
natural
though.
world because
Okay, I might have enough.
Of the planet, I'm a part
Let's
of my
see.
community. No, you're not. You're just walking around
Jeez,
looking
what
at
number?
your hand.
38,
So
36.
In that sense,
Oh.
I think my day is really quite different.
G is 41. I don't think I have any 41s. These are the only things I've got left here.
As a kid,
30?
I started making
31.
for. I always like to ask you the question.
Nope.
I've had a lot of
Okay,
different jobs
whatever.
in
Let's
journalism.
see if it
What I've
works.
learned is that it's always about.
Oh, yep. Mom cat on the porch is starting to get closer to being able to be caught, to be fixed. So I'm starting to look for appointments now. Hopefully I catch her and the kittens at the same time, but I want to catch her older kitten. I think I should catch her first because I think her older kitten, who's the same age as the girl I've got in here, I think it's a boy because not pregnant or anything, so it's got to be a boy. So I'm more thinking Mama's got to get in here and get fixed before she ends up having more kittens. And she definitely only had 2 again, and they are living on my porch now. The older kitten comes over and plays with them and says hi to her and everything. It's adorable.
Live from London, this is BBC News.
Really wanted to get to sleep, but I cannot let my plants die, so it is what it is. I can do without sleep to save my plants out there. Hopefully they just let us go home early or something. I know they're going to give us extra breaks because was it last Wednesday, last Thursday now, or was it this week? I don't know. Somewhere in the recent past, somebody followed at work. I was like, yeah, I'm just glad it wasn't me because, yeah. But it was 90 yesterday, so I wore my ice vest and I've got my little electronic cooling thing. It's not just a fan. It has a fan, but it's got cooling plates on it that are like literally cold that keep my head cool. Plus I've got a mister, and then I've got my big ass portable air conditioner. And it's working like a champ. I'm happy as can be with it.
President Trump's name appears multiple times in files related to the convicted.
But I finally decided, I was like,
Mr. Trump was
why
informed
isn't
by
this
the
picking
Attorney General
anything up?
Ken Bondi back
Oh,
in
it's just
May,
that one
and
stuck.
the White House has rejected. It is also
Every
claimed she did not
year
want to release
I
the
go
files of
out
Epstein
to
because
Cleveland,
the
or
Mr.
we
Trump
meet
acknowledged
somewhere, my
the
oldest
details
daughter and
of
my
identifying the victims.
grandkids,
The
I
BBC
take,
has
we
not
go
been
out
able
and
to
do something
identify
every year.
independently the newspaper's allegations, though it would
And I told them, I was like, well, I was looking at go-karts, but wow, that's it. I was like, yeah, we're looking in upwards of $1,000 just for the go-karting day, and then I want to go out to eat afterward. I'm like, yeah, that's gonna be kind of pricey. So I was like, I'll tell you what. I was like, now I'm looking at amusement parks. I started looking at amusement parks. I was like looking at them, and then I told the kids, I was like, I'll tell you what. You guys want to do like an amusement park or something? Because there's this, is it called amusement zone or something, or adventure zone, some shit like that in Cleveland. So I told the kids, I was like, we could do that. We could go to a water park. Everybody's like, let's go to the water park. It has been broiling hot outside. Let's do that. So told my daughter, I was like, well, the consensus seems to be a water park. And so I'm looking at Kalahari because they've got an indoor and an outdoor water park. And you can get a day pass and you can just go to both of them and everything. They've got restaurants in there. Plus, inside the water parks, you could get like hamburgers, pizzas, stuff like that, which I would imagine the kids will all go for. Plus, my daughter and her boyfriend will probably just get that stuff. But they also have an Italian restaurant that serves my favorite dish, even though I don't know, I think it's frutti di mare or di mare. I don't really know how to pronounce it. Either that or like something, I think it's called Diavolo or something like that. It's a bunch of, it's shrimp, calamari, mussels, clams, and it's like a spicy tomato, creamy tomato sauce. I made it here myself. But I'm like, oh, they have an Italian restaurant that serves that there. My son likes the same stuff, likes that dish too. He finally tried it once. He's like, dude, it was pretty good. So he's like, oh yeah. He's like, I'll do that. I'm like, yeah. So most of the people are going to eat just burgers and pizzas and stuff, and I'm like, me, my son, and my daughter with the grandkids will probably go in the restaurant and have the Italian dinner while the youngsters all have their pizza and burgers. And then my daughter sent me a picture. She's like, check this out. My next youngest grandchild, my grandson, he got a free pass. She's like, yeah, one of his classes, his teacher gave him a free pass for to cover the water parks for a day at the Kalahari. I was like, well, hey, but it said it excludes Saturdays. I was like, damn, I was gonna do a Saturday, but since he's got that free pass, we'll just make it Sunday. What the hell? Whatever. I was like, that saved me a little bit of money. What the heck? Okay, time to find out how long it takes me to switch the front hose and the back hose. I will be back as as quick as I can, and I'm like ripping the thing out of the wall. Alrighty. So take yourself a little break or time me or whatever.
Epstein and his involvement with many of the power players in Washington as well as in business throughout the United States, especially from that time period in the 90s and early 2000s. With all of this, though, is going to be the question of what, if anything, she says when and if she speaks to the Department of Justice. There's some reports that that would be happening as soon as today. The question again, whether she would actually have anything of value to provide to them in relation to this broader conversation, because the person at the center of all of this, Jeffrey Epstein, has died, a couple of years ago. And so at this point, she is the person who is closest, potentially has the most amount of information that could be shed. The other question is going to be obviously whether there is any sort of documentation from the formal investigations into Jeffrey Epstein that is allowed to be made public, whether that is the grand jury testimony from Florida, which we now know a judge says can't be made public, or from New York, which is still pending. So a lot of questions about what types of information might be out there, and what could be released to the public, and if that appease anybody who's looking for answers.
Yeah, so far, what's don't appear to be playing ball on that. So what do the US public want from all this? Here's Julia Manchester, she's the political correspondent in Washington for The Hill.
Not only the US public, but also President Trump's own conservative political base, a political base that has really stuck by him through thick and thin since he first came onto the political scene in 2015 when he first ran for president. This is a political base, that is often unified around him, and polls show that they aren't happy with the administration's handling of these Epstein files. Now, one caveat is that they aren't blaming the president directly. It seems that a lot of the blame right now, for now at least, has been pointed at Attorney General Pam Bondi. The problem, though, is that this story isn't going away, and this is such a unique position to see the conservative Republican base split on this matter that I think there are a lot of questions as to whether or when they will turn on President Trump himself for the handling of this case.
To the role that Ghislaine Maxwell plays in this, there's a congressional committee that wants to subpoena evidence from her. Were she to spell out a story which involves or includes Donald Trump, that might work against her.
It very well could, because we have to remember that for Ghislaine Maxwell, the end game for her would likely be getting out of prison early. I think at this point she's serving a 20-year sentence, so she would have to be getting out of prison, at this point, in her late 70s, early 80s. So that's something she's certainly, I think, a big end game for her there. So I think
3 minutes, that's not bad.
this. But one other
Okay, try not to mess with it, and I still did. Okay. Oh, what fun. All right. Whoops. Turned it off.
Going to meet
Come on now.
Members of his team going to meet with her, but his own personal friends, who's actually appeared on her attorney's podcast.
Whatever.
Times.
All right. Whoops.
There's a connection
Dang.
between those two attorneys.
Well.
So a lot of questions as to how that plays out as well, and how that
Go back out in 10 minutes. I think that's everything I've got in the backyard. I threw the soaker hose on all my vegetables, did both grapevines, did the one. There was this, I guess it was a weed growing in a planter that I had put outside just to get it out of the way. Had it on my back porch, and something started growing in it, and it had flowers and everything. I was like, I'm putting that by my pond. The heck with it. I don't care if it's a weed. It's flowering. It's pretty. I'll put it out there by my pond. Why not? So I just got done watering that, and that thing's all droopy and stuff from being transplanted. I'm like, come on now. You are a weed, and you're going to act like you're upset about getting moved? Okay, but... So I watered that. Now I'm just moved it over to my lavender that I had just bought. I've got Black Eyed Susans in front. I bought purple phlox, 2 Black Eyed Susans, and a purple coneflower. Oh no, I do have 2 more plants in the backyard because I've got 2 planters out there. I just bought lemongrass to put in one, and I've got chive in the other. Yeah, I knew there was something I was forgetting back there. All right, I'll be doing the same time because I got to get those watered. All right. I'm going to be tired as hell going to work tonight, not getting any sleep like this.
latest
But
booms. We're
if
not
I
sure
don't stay up
exactly
and
where they're
water these
landing.
plants,
This
they
is
won't
the
get
most
watered
serious
and they're liable to
confrontation
die
we've
from
seen
all of
between these
this.
two countries
It hasn't
in well
rained
over a
all
decade.
week,
It's a
so.
long-standing border dispute that has flared up occasionally in the past.
Yeah, I gotta do it.
but
I
not
walked
as
right
seriously
past
as
them
this
planters. I
since
was
way
afraid I
back.
was gonna forget.
I think it really came out
Almost
of the blue for many
did.
tides. It started with a few clashes earlier this year, but then there was a serious deterioration in relations last month when the Cambodian
Planters need watered
strongman,
more
as he
than
calls
the
himself, himself
stuff in the
Malaysia,
ground needs
leaked
watered.
a conversation between him and the Thai Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra, which
Yeah, I
deeply
get.
embarrassed
I
her
don't think it's
and
gonna
resulted in
rain
her suspension by the
till next
Constitutional
week.
Court. There's been a really
Oh,
strong
jeez.
since
Yeah, I'm
then
starting to
between
get a
the two
headache from
sides.
not sleeping and
We've seen the troops
everything.
beginning to mass a little bit on the border, and then we've had
What
these
did that just say?
really
Storms
serious clashes
possible
that have happened
tonight?
today that have resulted in quite a number of civilian deaths, a lot
Oh,
of injuries,
it's gonna
as
rain
well,
tomorrow.
quite a bit of damage. Now, at the moment, there's no sign of any real diplomatic efforts going on to de-escalate that. We'll have to see if that happens.
They're
in the
saying it might
next,
rain at 3 in the
few
morning,
days
and
or
I'm
so.
staying up
The
to
troops
water
are
these
here and right
plants.
along this border on the Thai side are really on
Ugh.
high alert.
So now,
Jonathan Head, there.
I'm staying up to water the plants.
So we do have a live
But now, at 3 in the morning, it's probably gonna rain. Yes, gonna rain when I'm leaving work. I'm like, well, I didn't think it was gonna rain for a while, and here, yeah, it's showing it's gonna rain Friday and Saturday and Sun. I'm like, I'm getting a headache from not getting sleep, and here it's saying it's gonna rain. I don't trust it. I'm like, I can't let them plants die, so I'm watering everything before I go to sleep. I thought I was done and back, but I forgot those containers with the chives and the
looked at myself in the mirror,
lemongrass
and I just thought, I'm back. I've been telling
that I
everybody
just
that
got. I'm like, yeah, I didn't spend all that money, just let it die.
Disney.com/TV. Talking Limited, your ticket to all things film. From red carpets to the biggest film festival. Get behind the scenes insight into the most talked about films. Speaking directly to the creators and stars shaping
Well,
the
good.
art of
If it
cinema.
starts
We
storming, oh,
celebrate
yeah, it's gonna storm at the end of the night instead of early. Well, if it did it early, well, if it did it at like 10, 11 o'clock, it wouldn't be too bad. But any earlier than that, it'll just steam us.
I gotta get out there and get working on the one.
The major trade deals.
Guess I at least gotta do the back.
Multi-billion-dollar
The back is starting to look pretty fucking bad.
Deal agreed in May is worth around.
The
£6
front I
billion.
actually did
It's the
last
biggest
week.
post-Brexit
Should
trade
look
deal in
okay,
British
but
science so far. And for England,
yeah, I might end up hitting
agreement
it.
since they liberalised the economy in the 1990s.
Yeah, going back over the part that you pulled. Oh, I threw that dead baby bird over there. Oh my God.
Generic drugs and shrimp on the list. The UK tariffs on whiskey will be cut in half. The 100% levy on British.
I took the welcome mat with the dead baby bird on it and like threw it out into the area that the wildflower area. It's up towards.
I had to break it. I don't care. It's probably just gonna get mulch.
Ugh. Yeah, there's ants all over it now. That upset me so bad.
And I think I can say
The little ferals out front yesterday got a baby bird that was just learning, just out of the nest, learning to fly. They got it, brought it up on my porch and ate half of it and just left it on my rug for me.
Called the two countries natural friends.
I'm like, okay, great.
That from AI to critical minerals.
So I'm like, yeah, just another thing to solidify the fact that I really need to start trapping them and getting them spayed and neutered.
Just over £42 billion. The deal, as I say, is worth
Oops.
£6 billion to the government here, hoping the agreement will boost overall trade by 60% over the next 15 years. It will trade over 2,000.
Yeah, I really haven't. Oh, I didn't turn on the gems flow.
My colleague Regina Vardinath
Oh well.
in Delhi.
I barely worked on this
Prime
weekend.
Ministers actually have been carrying water.
and I'm gonna barely work on it this weekend because we're going to see Superman. My daughter's boyfriend wanted to go see that, so we're gonna see that Friday. I already ordered all the little snacks from Walmart, and then Sunday we're going to the Franklin Park Mall to see Roger Waters.
Other prime ministers, Rishi
Um,
Sunak as well.
they
you could argue in some
videoed
ways
him
all these
live
prime
in
ministers
Prague,
laid the
so we're
groundwork,
gonna
although Sir Keir Starmer
go to
was the one
the
who signed,
theater there in the
final
mall. I
agreement.
already
There's
got the
been a lot of
tickets
work
for
in
that on
progress.
Sunday.
Christian, there have been many
And then we're going to a llama
It's not
celebration
just trade, though. It's
Saturday
also
night,
defense, security, and
making
It's a far-reaching-
Irish soda bread and bread pudding to take there. Gwydion is making, I guess he's grilling chicken and stuff like that. I haven't seen anything anybody else is taking. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I haven't seen anyone say that they're going, that they're bringing anything.
The colonial script has been rewritten. It's very significant because you've got two major
Let me
economies,
look.
and India's economy is growing. So there's a big prize for both, but of course, as
Where
you
is
rightly
it?
say, it's not just
Llamas.
about playing, it's also about other things like security.
Llamas.
They're going to be sharing criminal records, for example.
Mhm.
Two countries who are going to do more to tackle illegal migration.
Barbecue, grill some chicken legs and thighs.
I was talking
Mario,
to people from
pistachio
York University
jello
who said they
cake
have finally signed an
dessert.
agreement so they can open a
And I
campus
said
with
we're
the
bringing
flagship
bread pudding and
campus
Irish soda
York
bread with
in
currants,
July.
and
Southampton's
nobody
doing
else has
the
said
same. So it's interesting
anything.
because they talk about this living bridge. It's always used in
Hmm.
negotiations as a phrase, people to people.
Okay.
But what we always really saw was Indians wanting to come to the UK and seek opportunity here. What I think both countries hope
Hmm.
result of
Chapped
this
lips.
is
I
that they
need
might
lip gloss. I'm trying to get a cold sore right now,
things
and
like
I
that. So there's a real
just
kind of
can't.
360 on this, and it's
Oh, I've got 1 minute till I gotta go out there again. Oh, yeah?
Foundation.
Yeah, Sarge will be over here in a minute. He's already. Oh, this is the stuff that turns my lips blue. Okay, I can't do that today. I think. Wait a minute. I don't think this is the one. I'll find out.
I think they've made a big compromise.
No.
in terms
Okay,
of,
good.
The direction in which they have traveled, and the distance that they have traveled. And for example,
My daughter got one that
May,
turns your lips blue and gave it to me, and I keep accidentally using it, and then I'm walking around with blue lips.
Any deal with the UK that involves trade would
Comfy
also
boy,
involve
I gotta run back out the door in a minute.
Obviously, the export component. That's been essentially
Watering the
and I
my
think the
cousin's
government
lilac
has
bush
recognized
right
at least
now.
under Keir Starmer, but that's just not politically possible.
That I tried to go through the correct way. You're supposed to get approval to plant things on your tree lawn. So I put in to get an approval for the lilac bush, because it's going to be relatively large out there, but I've never gotten a response. I'm like, oh, well, I'm putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there. I'll keep it trimmed back and everything, but you know what? I can't, because it was sitting there. It was in the container, and it was just
the lens countries are now going to find
keeping it and staying alive like a champ. And it was a little fighter. I'm like, yeah, I can't let this thing in here anymore. It's going to die if I wait for them. And that's been
which are both UK and India
probably
rely on the US as a major
a
market.
couple of
So
months.
we're both looking elsewhere. And
At
we're
least a
looking,
couple of months.
I think
Probably,
we have to
yeah, it's been a
recognize
little
that
over
there is
2
an
months
trust
since I
in
sent
things
in for
that,
the
for
approval
example, have held up closer
to
relations over the
plant
past 3 or 4
a
years,
lilac
even
bush
on trade matters.
in front of my
And
house
if
that I
Honor that,
own.
that's great, but I don't think they're likely.
Whatever.
What's relevant for us is that there is no breakdown in similar breakdown in
Like,
trust
they better not
between
say
India and
shit,
the UK.
because
And I mean, these are very close trusted partners, and therefore
my
there is
cousin's
no
lilac
geopolitical
bush.
barrier to creating to talking about 10, 15-year long trading relationships the way there is between the EU and China today.
All right. If I don't get up,
for a second,
let me finish them in this spot. See, this is why I can't do this stuff. Man, I'm just glad I kept watching Josh Johnson on Facebook and stuff like that. And he's on the Daily Show, and I watch that all the time. And he's just hilarious. And I was like, I wonder if he's got a podcast. He does, with his friend Logan. And they're hilarious together, and they crack me up. And yeah, I've been listening to them. I listened to them for hours last night. Usually I'll just put them on for an hour or two. I went half the night last night, just marathon podcasting. They're listening to them. They're hilarious. It's so nice. It really helps my work night go faster. And it's funny because everybody starts looking at me crazy. Damn it, I popped one right off of there. Everyone starts looking at me crazy because I keep cracking up. I'm like, you just don't even understand. You need to listen to this podcast. It is hilarious. I love Josh Johnson.
Frankness, mutual understanding, so listening to each other must be the foundation of our discourse or dialogue. And I think the summit delivered exactly on that one. We have very frankly and openly raised our concerns, very clearly, very directly. You know, the trade and investment and geopolitical issues that you mentioned. We have partially identified solutions. I mentioned the mechanism, if there are bottlenecks in the export controls, that we have a swift
Oh, Lord. They're giving us ice cream tomorrow and salad galley, so we'll be having like pasta salad and stuff like that, so I don't have to pay. They feed us once a week where I work. They alternate it, like it's Thursday this week, it'll be Tuesday next week, then Thursday the next week, Tuesday the next week.
So it was
which is pretty cool. They used to feed us twice a week. I guess they used to feed everybody every day, but as they've gotten larger, they've been cutting back.
Ursula von der Leyen in Beijing talking about the conversation.
I've never had a company feed me before, besides like Amazon. Every now and then they'd get us like Chick-fil-A or something for like holidays and things.
The Europeans were looking for an alternative trade corridor to the one with China. And that does speak, I think, to the trade deal they signed here in the UK today. You see increasing confidence, I think.
All right. Finish up all of these so I can get out there. I said 20 at 5 minutes over so far. Like the plants are going to complain.
I mean, there is no doubt about it.
Give them a nice, slow, deep watering.
So it's also got a largest workforce.
They need it.
When we talk about things like,
because I know how I'm feeling in this weather, and it's not good.
Minister, who was very
There's one of the specials.
Out just how much India has really advanced in the technology space and is actually leading the world on things. For example, you can go to the tiniest village, Christine, and pay for something with your mobile phone using something called KTM.
Might be done with
back-end technology, that kind of thing, that infrastructure is something that countries like the EU and India, the UK, pardon me, want to benefit from as well.
Mihir Sharma, economist who's still with us as well, she talked there about the complexity of this relationship with China. India has been...
I think I got them all. Find one as soon as I put them away. I'll come back from changing the hose and find another one. What? Time. I need to get a drink. I'm dehydrated too.
Considerable opportunity. There are people who are looking for trade partners that can manage the risk of overexposure to China.
Cucumber lime Gatorade. Oh, so good. I love it.
And reached out to the EU. And
okay, whoops. There I go again. Okay. Be right back. Hopefully it's only 3 minutes again.
Besides the EU that we have on the agenda right now. I think that it's important also to recognize that the Europeans and the Indians are working, as you mentioned earlier, on trying to find ways for trade to actually physically occur that don't necessarily depend on either China or on contested waterways like the Red Sea. And there is work there that the EU is doing that eventually India and the UK will benefit from.
Just a word, given that we're talking about China and India, that Regina was saying that there are much closer ties now on security and on defence. How will that benefit India?
I think from India's point of view, what we are really looking for is greater technological cooperation, particularly in areas of security and defense. This is a place, this is a field where the UK continues to be world leading. There are expectations, for example, that Rolls-Royce will invest further in India. And it's not only a one-way street. I do want to emphasize that Indian AI, particularly and Indian tech leadership in their startup, a very vibrant startup sector, particularly in defense and space, is looking for opportunities to invest to the UK. And I think some of those have been identified by the government and by the UK government.
Here, thank you for that. Just a minute left, but I wanted just to quickly touch on cars. There is an opportunity here for British car manufacturers, or is there?
I think they could be. India has the third largest car market in the world behind China and the US. It's got, as I say, the world's largest population. And you have a big luxury car market, all the billionaires in India. And on the other scale, you have an aspirational population that is buying more cars. So there is an opportunity, but it's a crowded market. You've got Japanese cars and other countries, German cars. There's lots of people wanting to sell to India. So there's an opportunity, but it's not necessarily a slam dunk one.
Much needed on this side. The figures the car industry put out today, the worst since the 1950s. Regina, thank you very much for that. We're going to take a short break. We'll talk about the situation in the Middle East, which is equally complex after this break. Take it away.
Be part of a historic event. Join Lech Walesa, Nobel Peace Prize winner and one of the world's greatest leaders, on his first ever grand lecture tour across North America. Meet the global hero who changed the course of history and inspired millions. Now, the greatest challenges of our time lie ahead. Walesa will take you behind the scenes of one of history's greatest turning points to draw lessons for a future we must build together. Register now at historyexplorer.com.
I knew that I wanted to get help immediately. I was going to be able to see a therapist within that same week.
I am just so much more like in tune with myself after just being able to talk to my therapist. She's dope.
There's so much ease with using BetterHelp. Now I feel so much more confident in expressing myself, and that's been a great gift for me.
We all need a little help sometimes, but asking, that's the hard part. Here's a little secret. If you need it, help can be everywhere. That's the power of therapy. And it's some of the best help you can get.
Okay.
Jackpot Party, a legendary free-to-play.
That took a little bit extra.
Chance to win a cruise.
Had to figure out how to
All you have to do is download Jackpot
prop
Party to enter.
the hose into the
Win a Jackpot Party
container with the chives. Whew. Okay, 10 minutes will be 8:40.
Enter today,
Ooh.
and you might just squeeze away.
Let me do
A party
either
in every spin.
arrow
Keep on track with the world of athletics
right
on the
there.
BBC Sports website.
Okie
Get all
dokie.
the news results and
That'll do it.
reaction with our expert analysis on the top global events, including the Diamond League and the world's leading marathons. Go online or download the app now.
In your book, you're taking us back
Oh,
to the 80s,
goodness.
the early 90s. You were so embedded in 90s
Feels it,
culture.
yeah.
We've got this 90s survival going on, if you like.
Oh,
Yeah, races
man.
coming back, reforming. Cult got massive reception.
Yeah, this weekend I went out there
Did you
for an hour and a
anticipate that
half
sort of nostalgia for the
pulling
90s?
trumpet vines. I don't know if I've been on here since I told my son to just go ahead and just take out the wildflower area because trumpet vines were taking over. They were there last year, but they didn't get that bad. This year, they were all. As soon as one of my wildflowers had come up, it would wrap right around the wildflower and take it down to the ground. I'm like, they were squeezed. I guess they're nicknamed chokeweed, and I see why now because I had like 5 sunflowers out there. They had grown up the sunflower stems, and then the sunflower, the stem's trying to get wider, but with that vine around it, it's got all these lines where it was just tightened around it, not letting it grow. I'm like, so it killed like 3 of my sunflowers.
This is BBC News, the headline.
So I went out there, I had my son weed whack everything down and mow it. And then I went out there for an hour and a half pulling those damn trumpet vines off of my sunflowers, lilacs, and because I've got a dwarf lilac bush out there up at my house, and I've got Rose of Sharon that grew out purple, which is fine with me, but I had, where we had lived before, up across the way, there was this house that got tore down, and they had, I've never seen them before, but they were just solid white Rose of Sharon. So I took a bunch of seeds and I was hoping that they would come out white, but I was like, yeah, never know. Because I think there were purple ones too, so I wasn't sure if I got white ones or purple ones.
Says food deliveries into Gaza are far below what people there need to survive.
So I told the kid, I was like, yeah, I need to go ahead and plant a bunch more of them seeds and see if I can get any to come up white. Because I really like them white ones, and they were solid white. No yellow, no red, no nothing on them. Just pure white. Gorgeous.
Despite the immense needs in Gaza, still only a trickle of aid is getting in.
Oh, but yeah, went out there for an hour and a half, pulling weeds, ripping trumpet vines off of the, all of the plants I've got out there and flowers. Not one allergic reaction. I think I was allergic to something up in my wildflower area.
Enough.
Because I started thinking about it, I was like, yeah, I didn't start having the allergic reactions until I started that wildflower area. And before the wildflowers came up, there were a bunch of weeds that came up. And me going out there pulling them weeds and going through there and doing stuff, because then I planted my Rainier cherry tree out there. So I was out there. Last year, I had some of the worst allergic reactions, especially my legs up to my knees were just solid allergic reactions, all up my arms up to here. So the kids, no allergic reaction out there pulling all that stuff. So it was something down in the wildflowers that I am just highly allergic to.
Takes many forms. Yolande Knell, BBC News, Jerusalem.
I'm like, well, just gonna have to let that go back to grass until I can get rid of them trumpet vines, because I just don't have it in me. I'm like, I can't keep battling all this shit. Because besides that, I'm in the backyard, there's all these spotted lanternfly nymphs. I finally got fed up with them and got a can of Raid. Sprayed the bejesus out of them. Then there was a couple of those Tree of Life or Heaven or whatever that weed tree is that they like. There was one out there across the alley by where I've got all of my garden stuff. Went out there with a can of Raid, sprayed them all down, then went out. I think this weekend I went out with my big shear things and chopped that thing down, so it's dead.
Or one fifth of what is needed, and there are difficult choices that are being made. shall we provide fuel to the bakeries or to the hospitals, to the water desalination or to the sanitation and sewage? This
Oh,
is
man.
the dramatic the event that are happening, and there is no reason for that. The UNOPS is
Whoops.
the agency that need to bring.
Yeah, my
fuel to
daughter,
fuel.
I had gotten the stuff to make creme brulee, and then I was like, oh my God, I've got like 50,000 things to do, and I don't have the time to do it.
There is a mass
So she made the creme brulee that I gotten the stuff for. Did a damn good job. Everybody loved it. I got us more stuff to make. I forgot that I usually like at least double the recipe. She didn't have enough. There wasn't enough cream, so I bought a bunch more cream and a bunch more eggs. I'm like, yeah. Next time, just do 4 times the recipe so that we've got enough to go a little while. What all did I have to do? I know I had a bunch of stuff to do, and I was just like, man.
system. Before this happened,
I put fleece stuff on everybody, did my laundry, did my bedding.
mandated mechanism to approve all aid into Gaza.
I also, I
All aid.
got my corned beef. I bought a turkey bag to put it in there to cure. That's it. Tomorrow I've got to flip it. I guess you turn it over after day 5 and cure it for 10 days, but all the stuff came, so I got that stuff all heated and cooled off and cut down the brisket and cut the brisket in half, put half in the freezer, put half in the pickling stuff. Or corning. I don't know why they call it corned beef if it's pickling. But whatever. It is what it is. Got it done. Soaking in the fridge.
We are ready. We have the quality inside. We have the logistics. We have the
Yeah. I also had her do the haluski, which is noodles and cabbage. I always saute cabbage all the time, and there's this Polish recipe for noodles and cabbage, which is just what I do, sauteing the cabbage, but you take a thing of noodles and boil the noodles and mix them in there too. She is not great with cooking noodles or pasta. She doesn't do it. Her boyfriend does it perfect. We're both pasta fanatics, so I told her, I was like, should have had him do the noodles. He does them perfect. She's like, whatever, I did it. Yeah, thanks. He did some of my dishes. She did those 2 things, and then we went to the farmer's market, and I got bison steaks. The boys like the bison steaks. Me and my daughter are just like,
49 people are now thought to have been killed in a passenger
So-
plane crash in eastern Russia. The twin propeller Antonov.
we had that.
At Kinder, that's a place close to.
We also had ribs because there's this Parish Farms. I always go through them.
Forested mountain.
They raise Duroc,
The fuselage there on fire.
Duroc
Russia's
pigs
TASS news agency has reported
or
that
something,
plane,
and they have
nearly
such good meat. They make the best chorizo. So I got a ton of chorizo,
with aviation
like
security in Russia.
8 pounds of it, 8 pounds of chorizo for our breakfast, and got us some ribs, got us roast. That's right, she made a roast the other day with it. We got we got ribs, roast, chorizo, and eggs. What was the other? Oh, the bison was from these bison people.
How China continues
Yeah,
to interact
Meow
with
Meow.
Putin,
I'm working on it, Lady Meow Meow.
Our relations going
Actually, when was I supposed to?
expectation. She says that China uses that.
I
influence to
don't
make
know
sure
when I was
Russia
supposed to go
is
back
coming
out.
seriously to the negotiating
35 to 40. I
table.
think 45. So I think I got a few more minutes. I'm not talking to you, girl. I'm not even talking to you, girl. Oh, Meow.
Let's take a short break.
Oh, man.
Across the UK.
Oh, Meow. Look at you knocking that plant all over. Got my inch plant over there that was huge and then it died out and I don't even know why. Now it's starting to come back. I've got to give it a haircut, trim all of the stuff that's come down, cut it off and put it in a vase till it roots and then put it back in there to thicken it up.
Live the best life.
I have no clue why the heck it just started dying off.
Restaurants, cinema, nightclub,
Ugh.
salon, and more.
Oh, my nose is itchy now.
This is the world's second
Okay.
a place where the present meets the future. Birds and Zizi, amazing on every level.
Welcome back. In
That's
Haiti,
pretty much all that's going on over here. I just put that in the wrong spot. No. Dog, I don't care. One little speck ain't gonna hurt.
Suffering the most. My correspondent,
You can tell I'm tired. I'm like, oh my goodness, just forget it.
And the names of those interviewed in this report have been changed to protect their
Yep, we put the shed together. My son put my trellis together, and I still haven't gotten my grapes on it because it's too hot out there.
Exposed far too early to the cruelty.
Still got a greenhouse that I got to put together too.
This guy is a survival rate.
It's the last couple big things that I've got to do out there.
Sexual violence, but I'm blown away by how young they are. Young girls holding on to babies. The youngest victim of rape is 12 years old, and the eldest is only 19.
Oh,
17 when she was captured. She's now 19 years old and a single mother.
Been raped.
waiting to hear back from the
I think about ending it all. They made me do things and said they'd kill me if I
roofing
didn't.
place.
But then
So we couldn't run my credit because some of the things that I had paid off
this baby
weren't showing paid off yet. They just now
was almost entirely
show paid off and sent me letters to prove that I had paid them off. So
Terrorize and subjugate
we'll
entire
see. I
communities.
told him, I was like, yeah, my credit just jumped 40 points. So it's all
Because the violence is
straight now.
women have to flee their houses. They flee without nothing. They are in centers.
Ordered
where
a
there is no
9.
water, no
Woohoo!
sanitation, they're overcrowded,
I should
and they
be
support the
sleeping or
very
is laying in the bed falling asleep at the very least.
to the men that are attacking them because they are powerless to defend themselves.
At another women's shelter across town,
Get
we
this
hear more distressing testimony. A pattern emerges of rape, murder, and arson.
keep filling in the confetti.
They raped me. I had my 6-year-old with me. They raped her too. Our neighborhood was ambushed. I went back home only to find my mom, my dad, my sister, all were murdered. This is Delmas 30, the scene of a recent attack. Women were raped, families murdered, an entire neighborhood is now in ruins. Rodrigue is going back for the first time and taking us with him.
So the gangs are stationed about 2 blocks away. We're going into Rodrigue's neighborhood, which is still contested territory. We're being escorted by vigilantes. They are basically civilians who are trying to keep the neighborhood safe. They're filling in the security vacuum. Right, they're ready for us to go in. Let's go.
The vigilantes
Hmm.
are snipers on the roof of a nearby bank. They're protecting the
Well,
area to keep the
is
gangs
it
from
worth?
returning.
Yeah, it is.
And they are
You know what?
close.
I will end this. I've pretty much run out of things to say, and I'm just too tired. I'm starting to zone out.
We have to run
So,
to avoid being spotted.
good morning to you. Good night to me.
Finally, we reached the
And
ruins of
I'll
Rodrigue's home.
see you next time. Happy diamond painting.